We're live again, I think. Yeah, all the check marks are on there, Adam.
That looks good.
This is different. We're in a little bit of a different spot here, and it's kind of weird, but our guest is here.
It's invisible.
It's the Never Ending Story VHS tape.
Yes.
And that's not to tell people that we have anybody from the Never Ending Story coming on, because that's not happening either right now. But we're live again here at the Bangor Comic and Toy Con. We have a little bit of a different setup because we are working on trying to get some guests on today, not on the live broadcast, but just to record.
Yep.
And everybody's busy. It's busy here.
It's good to see.
It's really busy here. If anybody doesn't know, we're the Capes and Tights podcast, comic book and pop culture podcast.
I'm Adam.
I'm Justin. It says it below our names if you're watching it live on Facebook or all the different things. And you just moved over there because we were over here for the guests, and it actually worked out that your name is under your name.
Perfect.
Like, we know what we're doing here.
Yep.
We don't.
We do.
Not.
Right.
But yeah, so this is the cool thing about being live. People say hi, and
Exactly.
it's a lot more people walking by today. It's an experience for sure. When I went to get something for a buddy in the U.S. Cellular section over there, the video games.
Yep.
Another buddy of mine who works for or is with the Winter House Gaming podcast and streaming company or whatever they do, video games. I said, "How's it going, man? How's it going?" He goes, "Busy."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, looks like it. Looks very busy at the Bangor
A
Mall."
little bit slower start last night, so it's surprising today. Like, so we were talking last night about how weird it is to see activity at a mall. It's like the old days now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
like Christmas shopping in the old days, really. Because, I mean, I don't know if I ever remember going to the mall and it being this busy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I remember, like, Christmas time where people going in and out of shops and things like that. It's a unique experience for sure. It's also unique because, 40% of them are dressed up in costumes, so that's even more
quite a
weird.
few, yeah. I feel like I said, last night was kind of not a good indicator of what was coming. I don't even, what is this?
I don't know. Oh, I think they're wings.
There we go.
I wish they had a second camera set up. I don't know about this whole StreamYard thing we're using, if whether or not you can add a second camera that's local.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, right now we have it, like, obviously if I had a second camera of someone else somewhere else, we could use it. But it'd be awesome to have a second camera facing the other way next time we go live at a con like this. So people could just see the things we're walking by. Or maybe people don't give a shit what we look like and we could just turn it around now instead of... I think it was wings. They look like wings. The anime characters. Like, I'm sorry. We're pop culture and comic book, and that categorizes anime as well. Completely out of the loop on anime. When I came in the back door, I brought some more beer over for the celebrity guests and stuff. I came through the back door of the celebrity guest area, and they were crowd controlling the number of people that were going into Route 21. So it's not getting confusing, not because of COVID or anything like that. It's just the lines all enter in the middle of the spot, and they just couldn't figure out who was in which line. And all the people were lined up for My Hero Academia characters.
Yep.
There was 0 people in Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, and Jason Mewes' line. There was 0 people in Noah Hathaway's line. Then some people in Mick Foley's line.
Yep.
And actually, when I was in there a couple seconds ago, Mickey James just showed up. She definitely is a different person than everybody else.
I'm sure.
Like, she's got like snakeskin skirt and jacket on, a little bit low cut, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to see that on Mick Foley.
No.
Not sure I want to see that on Dana Snyder or Bill Moseley or anybody else in there.
It is funny, though. It's weird to saying the other day about people not really getting that Adult Swim connection in pop culture and a lot of the shows that, and I know My Hero Academia is huge there, but yeah, I have no idea. And there's also the Squid Games.
Yes.
And no idea, but from what I hear, I need to know.
Yeah,
so
I guess so. I mean, and one of the characters' name is Justin, so I should probably know another Justin in the world, right? But it's just insane. So I walked in there and I'm like, what the hell is going on in here? And there's just lines and lines and lines. And as anybody doesn't know, at a Comic-Con or a event like this with their signatures and pictures, you pay for everything. So like, it's like I kind of relate to the fair. Absolutely. Where you pay an entrance to the fair for whatever, couple bucks, $5, $10, whatever it is. And every time you go on a ride, you pay $1 or $2, whatever it is, a ticket. It's similar in the Comic-Con thing where you pay an entry fee to the Comic-Con, but then you also pay like $20 for an autograph, $10 for an autograph, $5 for a picture, whatever it is, and they have packages that go on. So they all have guarantees. So basically that's how they get paid. They basically say, I'm going to use random numbers that don't equate to actual numbers.
Right.
But if one of the characters is guaranteed $100, right? So it means they have to be paid $100 no matter if it if they actually bring in $100 of autographs or they don't. And so the Comic-Con owners are responsible for that money. So they basically, someone says, I have a $100 guarantee. At the end of the week, they get at least $100 plus airfare and hotels and per diem and all that stuff. But if they don't make it, then the Comic-Con pays it. But usually they make it. Yep. So there's a line out in front of the three people from My Hero Academia. Yep. And one of the owners looks over to me and goes, oh no, my big guess for the weekend, they're going to make their guarantee. And Jay's like, oh my God, yes. Like that's stupid. That's even stupid to say. He goes, I was being sarcastic because they're going to make it today. Oh, and they were here last night and they're going to be here tomorrow. So I am.
Well, it wasn't even yesterday. I saw quite a few people walking around that had the costumes on for My Hero Academia, which had no meaning to me until I went in last night and saw the pictures. But I know now I feel like I need to watch both of those shows because I am clearly so out of touch and I don't like to be out of touch.
But do you have time?
No, I don't.
That's what we talked about last night.
No time at all.
There's no time for this stuff. So it's.
Well, then you said your wife also. Then you've got to decide. Well, I don't want to be like, hey, tonight we're watching Squid Games, and Andy's going to go, no, we're not watching Squid Games.
We're going to refresh symbol here. I don't know if we keep on getting a refresh symbol. If anybody can see it, if there's some people watching. I guess it says I have low Wi-Fi, but what am I on here? I'm on the right Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi signal. It's fairly good, so I guess we'll figure this out. If it's we were just sitting here. We asked a couple of people. One person didn't want to do interviews, which again. Adam and I were talking kind of off air about how we understand there's like this people in the middle that kind of like podcasts, but then there's a lot of people out there who like big people, like people who are actors and celebrities and people like podcasts suck because there's too many of them. They have to do them all the time, yada, yada, yada. And then there's other people who are like, hell yeah, man, I love a podcast. And so the person was kind of towards that side of, I don't want to do interviews. I was like, cool, no big deal, no pressure.
As you said before that people might not realize, like going to these conventions is huge for artists.
Yes.
And not only did they do a lot of them, but it's just, if you were going city to city doing these, you wouldn't want to talk to somebody in every single stop.
Correct.
They don't get paid.
No.
For coming on the podcast.
And so a lot of them go to podcasts and live shows and radios to promote something. So like it would make more sense for someone like, I'm going to throw out, I have this Never Ending Story VHS tape here. Noah Hathaway to promote he's going to be here. So you hear the podcast, then you come out, get an autograph, and you pay for it, and they make money on it. When he's already here, doing a live stream might make a little sense, but not really doing a podcast that releases next week because he's not going to be in Bangor anymore. So it doesn't mean, or Banger, like most of these people say. There's some good ones. People do say it right. Not everybody, though.
I feel like it's better than it used to be. I feel like maybe that like whole thing of saying Banga is losing its cultural gravitas or something. Because everybody, it didn't matter where you were in the United States. If you said Bangor, they were like, you mean Banga?
They speaking of Banger, so if anybody watched last night's or yesterday's live stream, it was a very unique experience because we did a live stream. Our first live stream was at Bangor, the Bangor comic book shop, Galactic Comics and Collectibles for free comic book day. And we were out in the back room. There were some people that interacted with us and stuff like that, but we didn't really get interrupted in a sense that we were able to do the stream. It was great. It was fun. People have been watching it after the stream, which is pretty cool too. But yesterday's experience was weird. We were 5 minutes in to the live stream. Again, our internet keeps cutting it out. So if something happens, people, sorry, don't know what the issue is because it's definitely set up correctly. We're getting photos taken in front of us, which is pretty funny. We're going to be in the background of all these photos.
Which is perfect.
Yeah. But so 5 minutes into our podcast, our live stream yesterday, we had Will, one of the co-owners of the Bangor Comic and Toy Con, step up to the front of our little booth we have here and say, I need to talk to you. And we're both like, dude, we're streaming.
And he was like gesturing pretty frantically, like we need to talk
like
now.
The back of this building's on fire. Like you need to get out of here, get your equipment out of here. We're not going to cause we're not going to cause panic out there, but we know you have a lot of equipment in here. Get your crap out of here, get it out. So he comes up to me, he's like, no, come over here. So I'm like, oh, whatever. So I go over there and Dana Snyder's with him, which is the voice of Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And I'm not going to list all of his names, but because he's been on previous episodes of Bob's Burgers.
He does voice work for, I believe, Disney and other.
He did Adventure Time. Adventure Time. And he also did, he's done Hanna-Barbera stuff. He's done movies. He's actually done some acting too, actually physical acting.
Yeah,
not just
absolutely.
Voice acting.
Yep.
But his job as a voice actor. So he's standing next to Will, and Will's going, what do you have for equipment? And I'm like, why do you want to know this thing? I know you guys are a voice actor, but like, why do you need to know this stuff? Yep. So come to find out, long story short, is he got a part. So let's back up a second. Bill Hader SNL Bill Hader, like famous Bill Hader, like
Yep.
like Bill Hader that's too big for Bangor Comic and Toy Con. Bill Hader
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt.
was supposed to record Mickey, which he's done before for the Bob's Burger TV show. That's been on this. It's like what their 9th season or 8th season. It's like been on for a while. If anybody hasn't seen it,
I want to say it might be like its 12th season.
it might. Yeah, I think you might be right about that. It's up there. And Bill Hader couldn't do the voiceover for that character for an upcoming episode, and so they asked Dana Snyder. Weirdly, and so Dana Snyder got contacted directly, and he's like, "That's not how this works. You need to contact my agent." Right. They contacted the agent. The agent immediately obviously contacted him, and then the other person who contacted him directly are now talking to him as well. So his agent and this other person are talking back and forth.
Yep.
He needed audio equipment like ours
Yep.
to record lines for an upcoming Bob's Burger TV show
Yep.
for Mickey, who again Bill Hader originally did, and that we were the only option. Basically, at the time, it was like, there's a podcast recording here. They have equipment. Let's figure this out, and so on. So I came up here and I said, "What do you have?" We have Rode Procasters, got a Tascam 4x4. We got the equipment, stuff to do it. The audio in this room is not great. It's great for a podcast. It's great for live streaming, but you hear the noise from out there.
Definitely.
The walls are tall. There's nothing on the walls, so the audio can bounce and stuff like that. Especially when you're doing recording professionally, like for a movie or a TV show. So somehow, and that's even more weird than this whole story is going, is that how it became the Seasons connection, not just a random place.
Exactly.
So next to us is the food for the staff that's working the con, the volunteers and stuff like that. The food is being catered by Seasons in downtown Bangor, right outside of downtown Bangor. John, the owner of Seasons, was here. And so the connection became, Will has an office there at Seasons. So they were talking about, we have a spot that you could potentially record it. So we ended up taking Dana Snyder. Adam was in the trail car.
I was in the trail car, yep.
Dana Snyder, 2 Seasons in downtown Bangor to record, 25 lines?
Maybe.
Via the internet, which is freaking insane. I just logged onto my computer. I went to the specific website, typed the name in, had my inputs and my outputs. Some producer, director, sound engineer in California, headphones, talking to him, and he's yelling these lines into the microphone, because I wish I would have remembered which one it was so that we could not use that one anymore and just like now I need to remember I think it was actually this one that you're on, because that one is that's the one that going this way and these two were going this way. So it's probably this one. That we can just not use that one anymore now. We just pull that one off and maybe you can sign that microphone.
There we go. That'd be good.
There you go. We gotta get a silver Sharpie. Recording 25 lines with our equipment through the computer to a producer, engineer, director, whoever it was on the other line for an upcoming TV show. Adam, pinch me.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me right now?
It was totally surreal. And even they were laughing. We get there and we're getting into Seasons and he's like, "Oh, we got a back entrance." And we're going in this weird back entrance and up the back stairs into the offices. And so we set up on this. It was an office with a bunch of crap in it, I'll be honest. But that's what they needed because of the sound deadening. Exactly.
It didn't have an echo, all this other stuff that made it perfect for
t-shirts. Yeah.
And Dana Snyder wanted a copy of the menu because he collects menus in the different places he goes.
Which he got.
And he got a picture. He made me take a picture of him in their office so you can see this is where I recorded. And we had an amazing time.
Yeah.
And we are not fanboy. We have guests we're going to have some guests that are pretty big guests over the next year or so. We have some people lined up that are in Hollywood, and we're not this, oh my God, this is the one. But recording someone's lines.
Oh yeah.
For a TV show, we're never going to do that again. I'm sorry. It's unbelievable that we ever do that.
It was fantastic. It was just fun to see just what I don't know. You build stuff up in your head about what it must be, and being able to see how it can be done remotely just alone is cool. But it was so. Justin's wife and I were standing outside and listening, and it was just hilarious. We were cracking up listening to him doing the lines over and over and over.
And Taylor texted me. She's like, "How are you not laughing?" I'm like, I think I was just in shock. I think I was sitting there going, "This is not real. This is not happening. This is not happening. This is not happening."
I was telling Taylor, I was like, Bob's Burgers is a hugely popular show.
Yeah.
This isn't a weird off channel that does people. This is huge. And I was like, I wonder, we're over the kitchen in these offices. And I was like, I wonder how many people working tonight are massive fans of Bob's Burgers.
They're
and we're upstairs recording lines for it. And I was like, that's just so bizarre. And don't ever tell them. Of course, now they know, but they'll be like, "What?"
We were just watching Bob's Burgers upstairs in the office. Don't worry about
loud.
It was a surreal thing, and Dana has now agreed also to come on, so he'll come on at some point this weekend and talk to us.
Great.
He has agreed for a couple things. He's probably going to sign some stuff for us, which is awesome. And we were lucky enough to be the car to drive him, so we talked a little bit in the car, which is cool. And I asked him some questions of things like, "Did you know that a voice actor can do up to 3 voices in a movie for the same price as one, so they get charged as one person. Okay. But the second they do the 4th one, then they get paid for 2 people.
Gotcha.
So like you can do up to 3. And on the way over to Seasons, I was asking that question. He says it's actually kind of funny because they sent him an email, and in the email it had like your name will be the same size and print and font as the stars of the show, and just like selling tactics, like why you want this, why they want this opportunity. He's like. He's done a voice on Bob's Burgers before. He's like, Bob's Burgers is a great show and I want to do a voice on it. They didn't have to sell me on anything. But I was asking him, hey, does that work? He goes, yep, that's the way it works. So usually I do too. He goes, but it was actually kind of funny with that line at the bottom that says they'll have the same size and font. He goes, I had an opportunity. I had a gig I did for a little while there. It was a couple seasons or whatever that I was doing like 2 voices on the entire show, like 2 different people, 2 characters on the show, like regular characters on the show. Yep. And it said on the thing, it was so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. And the next screen says also starring Dana Snyder. And he goes, why wasn't I also starring? Like, I did 2 voices in the show and I wasn't also starring. And he was joking because he's like, he doesn't care. No, he was just laughing.
I guess that sets you apart in its own right, which is kind of nice.
Also starring. And I'm like,
starring this guy.
Well, is it the difference between like being listed up front?
Right.
Versus listed in the back and the rolling credits or the ones that has the animated credits at the very beginning and all that stuff. And I just like, he's like, I don't care. Whatever. Like people do care, but he's like, I got the opportunity to voice a character on Bob's Burgers, and he took it. And we saved the day. The Capes and Tights podcast, Adam and Justin, we were there to help save the day. We weren't going to say no. There's no way. If he's like, I need to do this at 2:00 in the morning, I would have done it at 2:00 in the morning. I would have gone home, taken a nap, woken up, gone over. If we needed to drive an hour to get somewhere to do it, I would have done it. If we would have needed to, like, honestly, Adam, if I would have needed to go buy sheets at the store and make his own booth.
We were talking earlier. I was already thinking I have a bunch of moving blankets from when we moved at home. I was like, I can get those in a staple gun, and that's.
Well, I guess we could have also done the whole blanket thing where you get a blanket and he puts it over his head and just talks into the microphone. But that would have been even more weird because like, just this ghost in an office at Seasons upstairs with the thing over his head.
Well, and that was something we talked about with him last night too. I mean. Lots of people, lots of places would help somebody, but like it is very like it's a very Maine thing, and even more so like central northern Maine thing. That's like if you need help, like people will we'll help you.
Yep.
Like that's just it's assumed.
And don't ask for anything. Like he texted me afterwards and was like, "Hey man, we owe you big time." And in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna take him up on that a little bit. Like get him on the podcast. That'd be perfect. That's great. Sign a few things, take a photo with us, all things that he's charging for over there." I mean, we took time out of our day.
Yep.
We were, potentially we could do other things. My wife and I were supposed to like walk around the con floor and see all this stuff.
Yep.
And so like, that's our payment is take some photos with us, give us some autographs, come on the podcast. That's great. It's all we're not, but if he said no to all of that, I still would have done it. And so,
we still would have done it, no doubt.
But the funny thing is too, is like, we haven't announced where the studio is working on. I've announced a little bit that we're doing a studio, but I feel like this is the right time because it fits the story. We're at the mall and we have an office space that's above Route 21 at the mall. Which
is where all the guests
right now are
right now.
That we're working on that for the coming future of us recording there. So like at the time, see, this was 6 months from now. We had all set up. We're recording there on a regular basis and he needed to do this. Yeah. We would have been the only person that helped him. Comic-Con wouldn't have helped him because it would have been like, oh, their studio's right upstairs. Pop upstairs. We would have done it immediately. We would have had sound dampening. We would have been perfect, all set up. Yep. But because we don't have that yet and we're kind of a mobile, working in my garage, working here from home and here, we didn't have it. So it ended up turning into the Comic-Con helping, connecting to me or to us, then us connecting it with John at Seasons. Yep. And so it did turn into the city of Bangor helping in doing this. So now all I wanted is like in the future, this story to get told and have it be a random time where Bob's Burgers mentions Bangor, Maine in a show that they're going there to do something at Bangor, Maine.
Yes.
And says it as Banger because that's what the way that Dana Snyder's saying. But that was like, again, to this point, to like last night, just sleeping and like waking up this morning and talking to some people. I'm like, it still pinch me.
Oh yeah. But that's why these events are fun. I mean, I think everybody is like like what we've been talking about, right? Everybody here's doing their thing. They're living their life. They're literally making their living here. But like, it's not getting every guest you want on and getting but it's, but just being around like you and just watching, like you meet people and you talk to people, and there are people that will gladly talk to us. They just don't want to do an interview.
No, yes.
So like, yeah,
and I don't blame them. And that's what we talked about with this person before. And again, I don't want to throw them under the bus because it's not there. And I'm not blaming them at all. Like, I'm not saying that it should have been anything else. It's just, honestly, if we didn't have a podcast right now, I don't know if I'd want to go on someone else's podcast today. Like, I don't know. Like, and so like, I have friends that have another podcast that are across the way. I could have gone after them, hey, want to come over and be on the podcast, but I didn't because I'm like, they're not podcasting right now. So why would they want to do that?
Exactly.
So we're gonna have some artists on at some point, hopefully. If not, again, if it doesn't work out because they're busy, this is how they're making money this weekend.
Well, and the thing is, they'll come on.
Yes.
It just may not be this weekend.
Yeah.
And really, like we were saying, that works out great because I think a lot of people that would be listening to the podcast are probably at the con right now. So,
otherwise, I went and bought this. If anybody can see it in the live stream here, Adam, you know how much this was, right? $5.
$5.
An original. What year was it made?
Well, we just did this the other night. It was
same year as, I believe I'm right.
My wife and I just did this the other night. We looked up. It's 1986.
Four.
It is even earlier.
Is that the year that's the first TMNT comic book too? So it's the same year as 84, same year as comic book. I have not seen this quote from the back of this movie. It's from WNBC Radio, New York. First of all, the fact that a VHS tape has a radio quote on the back of it is totally time sensitive there.
Absolutely.
A classic, like nothing you've seen before since The Wizard of Oz. The never-ending story.
We should see at some point if there's a trailer, because I guarantee that's still the era where they're like the story of a boy.
Yes, exactly. And it honestly, it's still like, even though it's made at one point high quality, the trailers are always someone from their house taking this and putting it into a VHS player and then ripping it to their computer. So you're like watching it on YouTube and it's still skipping and static is going across it.
They're so great. And I've been into that lately, watching the trailers to movies, because it's amazing. There's like a line where trailers become cinematic.
Yes.
Before that, like I said, it's like, welcome to the land of Fantasia.
Yes.
Meet Bastian.
Yes.
And now that if somebody did that in a trailer, I would be like,
they'd have to do it as an ironic time.
Course,
like it's like throwing it back to that time. They just talked about on the Fat Man Beyond podcast about how emotional the Arkham Asylum trailer for the video game was.
Yes.
That it was so crazy. The video game was good, but it did not. The trailer was like a piece of cinematic history.
Yes.
But it did not equate. You didn't feel the same emotion from the trailer as you did playing the game. Like you played the game, it was fun, but watching the trailer, you're like, oh my god, that might be the best Batman movie ever made. It's not even a movie; it's a trailer for a video game.
The idea behind it was fantastic. I mean, I remember when that game came out. But yeah, I agree. I think it's hard. It's like I just to make this a larger joke, I always think if somebody, every game seems super dramatic.
Yes.
Like when you see the trailer, and then by the time like the world is falling apart and you're trying to collect all of the urinal tokens that are collectible in the game, the whole urgency like falls apart.
Goes away, yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember that one. That was a big shift just in kind of how comic book games were done. It was so dark.
Yep. Oh yeah, but back to this never-ending story thing. Sorry, we got on a tangent there. Is Atreyu, also his real name is Noah Hathaway, is here signing autographs, taking photos and stuff like that. But I was walking through when they were setting up yesterday afternoon. I saw this and I was like, I want that. And immediately in my mind, I went $10-15. I know it's going to be that. And it was $5. And I'm like, I would have bought, if they had 3 or 4, I would have bought 3 or 4 of them for $5. There's other movies there I might go back and buy.
When I first walked in yesterday, we walked through there and you were like, look at the never-ending story.
I can't believe it stayed. Is that what you're going to say? Yeah.
And then it was still here today.
And I said, when I walked by to come back in after talking to Paul, I was like, I turned around and came back and bought it. So then I'm going to have Atreyu sign it and have Noah Hathaway sign it, which would be awesome. And that's like, this is the coolest thing I think I'm going to have.
Oh, it'll be great.
Other than the story of like, there's no memorabilia from the story of that. I still got to figure out what episode that is, because that would be kind of fun to do something on the show here about that episode of Bob's Burgers, a random Bob's Burger episode review of his voices.
Absolutely have to.
And how it works. But the other thing I was talking the other day about, which is kind of off topic, but in the same way with, I forget who it was. was Will and Jay from Comic-Con that we should do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode, but
absolutely.
not on crappy movies. That we just crap on good movies.
On good movies, yeah.
Like obviously we can't show the movie, but the idea would be is you'd go on YouTube and you'd press play on the movie at the same time you press play on your YouTube video and you watch the movie and we commentate.
It'd be hilarious because you and I talk about it all the time. As so many like any kind of like popular culture nerd, even the best movies, you can sit the whole time and be like, "What? Nobody would do that.
Yes. Yes.
You have a phone. Why aren't you calling someone?" So like that would be hilarious.
Like someone like find out some of the most highly rated episodes of TV.
Yeah, exactly.
And just be like, that sandwich wasn't in her hand.
Yeah.
Now the sandwich is in her hand. What the hell's up with that? Or why'd you say that line? Or
that'd be great, and have rotating guest people come on to be like another commentator. That would
and
be
just
awesome.
do like it's like they do crappy movies on Mystery Science, but we could do like our own. It's like Mystery Science 4000, and it's just us shitting on Star Wars.
All the classics of sci-fi, fantasies.
I was just thinking, pick some of our favorite movies of all time and do those. Like Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite. Just do Shawshank Redemption and be like, why would you do that? How would someone not know that? And so, I think that would be funny. So I think that would be a fun thing to do in the future. Wow, look at the cosplay, man.
I know, that's why it's just like, that's why I keep, and we're becoming like a very popular take your picture spot.
We're gonna be a lot of backgrounds. I really wish we were making faces or giving the finger. Yeah.
Up there, and
this one right here is the mask looks. It looks homemade, doesn't it? This Carnage one right here, because he looks like he just drew a bunch.
That one absolutely looks homemade.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
It's fitting for the times because Venom, Let There Be Carnage 2, or Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage came out last night. I don't know. Is that Deadpool of sorts with a mask from Silence of the Lambs on him?
Like McFoley /
it's a Mick Foley Deadpool, isn't it?
That's what it is. There you go.
And it's a duct tape mask.
That's exactly what it is.
Again, no one can see these people, but we're explaining these people. I think, and honestly, everybody should be able to visualize in their head what we just explained.
Especially with Deadpool. Just
a Deadpool costume.
Dressing up like McFoley.
Yes.
There you go.
And that's
it.
Is that how you save money as a cosplayer?
Yes.
Is you just take you buy a very expensive base model thing. So now you're Deadpool, and then you go to a con and you're Deadpool as a cop.
Yep.
Or Deadpool as
I saw a guy earlier who his costume was fantastic. He had like all like old computer mice hanging off of his belt, and he had this like weird scythe made from circuit boards and all this crazy stuff. And one of the guys right across the thoroughfare from us was like, "What are you?" And he was like, "I'm a Wastelands drifter." And I was like, "That is amazing."
Well, we mentioned that yesterday in the live stream about how different Comic-Con costumes can be nowadays because of how the pop culture's gone. That this is a Deadpool costume, but is it a Deadpool costume because someone became a Deadpool fan because of the movies, or is it because they read the comic books?
Or video games.
Yeah, video games now.
It's crazy. But I love this. We've gotten them now posing with each other in dramatic poses here. I love it. Love it. You got Spider.
Also, if I was the symbiote, I'd probably suck that gun in a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't back the camera up into the thing.
I know, that's what I keep watching for here.
We have a rope for a reason.
This is
us just bantering on a friggin' live stream.
Of being live. And
yes.
Like you said, I do think in the future it'd be super fun to have another facing camera here and be like, this is what we're looking at. I could get my camera out and take pictures, but that'd be really creepy as I'm sitting here just taking pictures of people.
I can't believe how many people are here, Adam. Like, not in a bad way, not like in a way that Will and Jay Will was talking, or Jay was talking to me when I was walking through, and he's like, him and his wife, obviously Jay is a part owner of this, so he's part financially responsible for any positives or negatives that happen to the Comic-Con.
Of course.
And so his wife doesn't like to talk to him about the finance part of it because she's afraid that, especially during what we've been going through for the past 18 months, that they wouldn't make up the money and they owe a bunch of money and so on. And Jay's like, as of right now, the finances are separate. It's under my name, so it's not going to affect you personally.
Man, you just summoned him from the depths.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you.
We're literally talking about you.
We're live right now. We're talking about you.
Yeah.
Come sit down.
Then we were speculating that we'd summoned you or something.
We're live. We're live right now. Get on that thing.
You got the VHS over there.
Yeah, I got to get it signed.
Nice.
I didn't have cash on me, so I didn't go up there and
$5
get
to get it signed?
No, this is
$5
$5
for that. Right across
Dude,
the way.
nice.
I'm
actually jealous that you got that because it was only $5.
That's what I'm saying. I was literally pulling out like a $20 bill, being like, even if it was only $5,
just take it.
like that's the one that should be $20 right now because like Why wouldn't that be
Oh, yeah,
displayed?
why wouldn't it?
I would have had that on a pedestal.
Yeah, I
that
would have
said,
done like $50 on
"Buy
that.
this."
Somebody's like, I need that.
That was awesome.
Oh
so,
my god, this is a bad idea sitting down, dude. My body is like,
We'll
yeah,
only do
we're
it for
gonna
5
shut
minutes.
down.
You having fun though?
Oh,
This is
dude,
Jay. By the way, anybody who
I'm
doesn't know, we're
having a
live.
really good
This is Jay Cochran, co-owner of the Bangor Comic and Toy Con
Yep,
at the Bangor Mall, the 2020.
at the Bangor Mall.
2020, right?
Is your
2020,
brain officially mush yet from trying to keep track of all this?
It's getting there, man. But honestly, like, it's such a difference being at the mall because just the freedom, like to
Yeah.
control it.
Yes.
You know, at the Cross, we tried to do everything that we could, but there was, you know, certain things that we had to go
Of
get
course.
their security, or we had to go get
Yep.
their owner. And but the big difference here is like Dawn and Phil have been amazing, and they're so stoked to be busy.
Yes.
Like
Right.
doing stuff that they've been helping us with stuff. Like I saw them wheeling stanchions down there to set up to help keep the line coming in, and they're like, we got this. I'm like, all right, thank you. And she's like, I'm so like happy
You're
to
doing
be busy
something.
right now at the mall. I'm
Yep.
never running around like this. And
We've been talking a lot just of how oddly appropriate the mall feels. I feel like everything makes sense with this because it feels like it's 1988 again, and I'm at the mall doing comics.
It's 1984.
Like,
yeah,
We got
Exactly.
right back.
Steve Levine and Jim Lawson on the way. We
Yeah.
came out. TMNT came out in '84. Never Ending Stories. Noah Hathaway's in there.
Oh yeah, dude, Noah Hathaway.
We also
He's a
mentioned, and
character.
you're on the same boat as us. Is oh my god, the anime.
Oh my god, dude.
Like this is not a
I'll
negative
tell you
thing.
right
I
now,
don't have
there-
time.
there
for
will
this.
there will always be an anime guest from now on.
always.
Always.
We were
I might
sure-
just do anime conventions now.
That's where
Screw
the
everything else.
The money's in the anime.
I'm gonna screw original music. I'm gonna be in a cover band
Yes.
so I can make some
Yep.
money, and I'm only doing anime shows now. Just kidding though.
Insane.
But I mean seriously.
Like when I walked in there and I was just like, you guys are crowd controlling a little bit because the way the size of the room is and the lines and stuff like that. And I'm just like, there's mobs of people around the anime people, and then like trickling other people and the
Dude,
other ones.
like
and I'm just
everybody's doing well.
Yes.
But it's so weird to walk into a room and like the anime thing is just never my thing. I mean, we did it
Yes.
because we knew it was popular, but like I'm in there with my heroes all around, like with Bill and the Clerks guys and Noah and Mick Foley and all them. And I'm looking around and there's just this mob everywhere else.
And it was like, don't you?
And they're voice actors.
Yes.
I mean, not
You don't even
saying
know who
anything
they
bad, but
look
it's like. And
like.
they're voice actors. These other guys I know from like full-on movies, and it's so funny because it's not even an American show. Like they're
Yes.
the
No.
American
Yes.
group
first of the yeah.
for it.
And I feel like that's like the anime crowd always has a way of coming in and making you feel like you're not as up on things
Yes.
as you thought. Like throughout my
Yeah.
whole life.
Yeah.
And we talked earlier or yesterday about how we don't have time to watch stuff. And he goes, "Oh, you got to get catch up on anime." I'm like, "You don't have. No one else
I
have
don't have
time
time.
to watch all this anime now."
I
Like,
gotta say, I feel like I may be the only one,
Yeah.
but I tried.
Yeah.
I had nothing against my hero, but as a 36-year-old man that likes all the other
Yeah.
stuff here, to sit down and try to watch that, it was hard for me. And it's not because it's not because it's not a good show.
No, not
Yes.
at all.
It's weird getting into it right now.
Yeah.
And learning about it. And if we hadn't done this event, I would have just kept going
Yeah.
on, having no idea, randomly seeing people wearing my hero. But it's like when you buy a new car and you think you're the only one, and then
Of
you just
course.
see it everywhere.
Yep.
As soon as we announced this, I just felt like I saw
so I-
wallets and
yeah.
hats and T-shirts
Yep.
everywhere. I
they
was
were
like,
all
oh my
there
God.
already. You just now are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So-
funny because like Noah Hathaway or Bill Moseley or the guys from Clerks could probably walk up to the line that the people are waiting in line for My Hero Academia characters and be like, free autographs, free photo cup. They probably say no. They'd be like, nah, I'm all set.
Nah,
I'm
I'm
let's
good.
go.
Who are you?
Who are you again? You're older than my dad.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Thank you.
But yeah, it's today is one of those things that I was telling as we went, I want to get you back to your job. But this is honestly like Christmas at the
Yeah.
mall.
Yeah.
Like Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
15 years ago, Christmas at
yeah.
the mall,
Yeah.
where people
Well,
are like,
Yeah, I was saying that's what's crazy is because I remember the days where, this is how it was. Like you could, for lack of a better term, dick off
Mhm.
in the mall because nobody would even notice you.
No.
Because it was so busy going to JCPenney and hiding inside the clothes racks and running out and running around and just people everywhere. But no, my mother-in-law runs Spencer's down there, and she said somebody had said everybody putting on this event should be so proud of the life that they have brought this.
Oh my
mall.
gosh.
I'm wondering to you right now, and some of the people who live in this area that are younger, you're 15, 14, 13-year-old people
Yeah.
that may either have only once or twice in their lives or never actually been in here.
Oh yeah.
There's probably
Yeah,
people who have never even stepped foot in here because there's
Yeah.
no reason to.
Yeah,
Like you're
there's no
not,
reason
maybe they're
to
not
go,
into the
yeah.
Hot Topic or the Spencers, or
Yep.
you don't need new glasses.
Yeah.
There's a couple of glasses people are in there or buying shoes online. There's
Well,
like
the mall was already kind of hurting,
Yeah.
and then the pandemic was ordering everything, just solidified it. I feel like. What's happening? Oh, is Mick coming?
No, you need someone. Yeah, go. I don't know. Probably. So yeah, we'll get the J. We're actually gonna sign off here just so we don't distract around it. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit. I want to get this to Jay.